And we have an awesome tip of the week. David, you've done a great job putting these slides together. This is something we've been talking about for a few weeks and some topics that come up in the Facebook group. So we thought it would be an appropriate tip of the week. If it's okay, David, may I pass it over to you and we can talk about how to respond to common sign-up objections with killer rebuttals.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great topic that hopefully will come in handy for a lot of you with your own membership websites. Sometimes we might get members signing up on their own, and that bodes well for us. It shows us that we're doing well in terms of communication on our website, but other times there might be some prospective members who might need some hand-holding to get across the finish line. So first, let's talk about what objection handling is. And I think it's important to distinguish between objections and just casual brush off. So an objection we can think of as kind of being synonymous with a concern. So an example might be a prospective member says to you that your website, your community, it seems like it would be useful to them, but they're still just unsure about this reason or that reason. And so we can address that concern and try to help move them across the finish line and sign up for a membership. A brush off would be when somebody says, I'm just not interested, don't want to talk to you, this isn't for me, no thanks. Those people we probably don't want to spend too much time on. If they already know it's not for them, then we're really trying to win an uphill battle with them if we're trying to get them to sign up. Whereas people who think that our offering could be beneficial to them, but just, there's some obstacles in the way, it's those people that we really want to spend our time on, address their concerns, and help them realize why our membership community will benefit them. So our primary goal here is to alleviate our prospects' concerns in order to facilitate them becoming a member and signing up on our website. It's probably relatively obvious why objection handling is important, but it's important to make note of and to recognize that the longer a prospect holds an opinion, the more that opinion solidifies and the stronger it will become. And that means it'll be even more difficult for us to try to change their opinion. So if they do have some opinion prior to signing up, we want to welcome those objections, those concerns, and view those as opportunities for us to address those concerns, alleviate any concerns that they might have, and help make that transition into a member a lot easier. So before we move into some of the more technical strategies that we'll talk about in the next couple slides, I thought it would be useful to go over some of the simpler kind of mental notes to keep in mind when we're dealing with objections from these prospective members. So the first one is just to simply keep cool. They're not totally blowing us off. They're just voicing their concerns, and we want to welcome that and make sure that we're answering any questions that they have. It's not over yet. We still have time to help them become a member. We also want to stay confident, and we don't want to get emotional, angry, or impatient. We always want to maintain a positive attitude and really listen to what the prospect's concerns are. It's important to understand specifically what they're saying, what their concerns are. That way we have a better opportunity at specifically addressing their concerns and helping them realize why our offering might actually benefit them. And so with that, we always want to stand behind our offering, and it's important to really understand what it is we're offering, why our membership community can benefit all these prospective members. And even if those reasons aren't apparent to the prospects, if we can stand behind our offering and really understand it, then we can help convey that messaging to them. And lastly, pretty basic, but we do want to thank them for mentioning their concerns, for voicing their opinion, and giving us an opportunity to address them.
I'm glad you mentioned that, David. We actually hear that all the time. And let me tell you why that's not an issue. Is basically a way to thank them for mentioning their concerns.
Absolutely. And so getting into a little bit more technical element, this basically takes everything from the last slide and just breaks it down even more, makes it a little bit more technical. So this is the LAER method. It was developed by Carew International, which is kind of a corporate sales training firm. But the primary thing we want to keep in mind during all of this is that these objections or concerns that are being brought to our attention are opportunities for us to help these prospective members and to establish a trustworthy relationship with them. We've talked about
relationships a lot in previous webinars and how important they are in the longevity of maintaining members in our community. So if we're able to get a prospect on the phone initially, answer their questions, show them that there's real people behind the website and the community managing it, then that really puts us on a great footing to start their journey within our community. So the LAER method it's basically just 4 steps: listen, acknowledge, explore, and respond. So with listen, it's important to distinguish between listening and hearing what the prospect is saying. When we're listening to the prospect, it shows that we care about what they have to say and that we really do understand whatever concerns they're voicing to us are. And then that leads into acknowledgement, where a sincere acknowledgement to the prospect and their concerns shows them that they are being heard, that they're being listened to, and that we understand why their concerns are reasonable. And going one step further into explore, we can ask them some follow-up questions regarding the concerns that they're voicing in order to really flush out all the concerns that they're voicing and make sure that we truly do understand what they're telling us. And so we can give them a better rebuttal or a better response to help convince them to sign up to our website. And so that's where respond comes in, is we can really only accurately respond to the prospect when we have a complete understanding of their concerns. So we can respond with a recommendation, an alternative, a solution, whatever it may be that addresses their concerns, so that we can push them across the finish line and get them to sign up on our website.
And actually stepping back and looking at this and listening to you explain this a bit, David, this is actually great relationship advice for your spouse or your partner when there's a conflict or some resistance. These 4 steps actually make perfect sense. So I would make note of this not only for in your business, but also in your personal life and relationships when trying to be an effective communicator and when working with someone in any case that you might have resistance with.
That's so true. Whether it's a professional relationship or a personal one, really they all require similar ingredients to maintain that strong relationship.
It's almost like getting back to basics with these 4 steps here. So good to keep in mind. Thanks for sharing this specific slide.
Absolutely. And so to sum up, we thought we'd cover some common objections specifically for membership websites and communities. So Brilliant Directories, we've been around for over 10 years, and we've heard questions from a lot of our users and also from a lot of members who are looking to sign up onto membership sites and some of the concerns that they have. And there's a lot of similarities regardless of whatever target industry or target demographic you're going after are. So the first one, and the primary one, is that the offering is just too expensive. Why should I pay for this membership? So this is where really understanding your offering comes in handy. You don't want to focus on the price because that makes the conversation strictly transactional. We want to explain and really define what value our offering, our membership, is bringing to the prospective member, what return on their investment they're going to get. We can make some comparisons if there are other similar websites out there. We can explain what they're missing out on. I think an important point with this one is not to make it so much about the price and make it more emotional. Try to convince them other ways why joining our website would be worthwhile. And then the second one, I'm already part of another website. I don't need to have a membership on your website. The other one's just working out fine. This is another similar common objection. What we want to do when we hear this is to explain what sets us apart from the other websites, what makes us unique. And this is important to take in when you're designing, you're building out your membership offering. You don't want to necessarily offer exactly the same thing your competitors are offering, because then if your competitors have been around longer, maybe prices are similar, there might be something else that would push prospects over to the competitors. But if we can offer something different and we understand what it is our prospective members or target audience needs, then we can address those concerns better, maybe also at a lower price, whatever you can throw in there. We want to find ways to make us distinct from our competitors and to make us stand out.
There truly should be something that does set you apart from competitors or similar websites or communities. It can simply be your mission and what you stand for. Maybe feature-wise, everything is the same, but what your ultimate goal or mission of your community is. That's an easy way to differentiate yourself and something people can get behind. We mentioned that in number 4 here, but we should have listed that in number 2 here as well, is what your mission and what you stand for and what some of your bigger goals are for the community and how you're looking to change something in the industry, something in the world, something in your local region or city. So we'll talk about it later, but you're going to want to actually do role playing with your friends and family and have responses to all of these points here.
So going into number 3, I don't understand how you can help me. This is similar to number 2. We want to make sure that we understand how our membership offering can benefit these prospects. We don't want to just rattle through the features that we provide them. Again, it's important to make an emotional connection here. Just rattling through the features and the prices, that doesn't do as good of a job at convincing somebody to sign up as making an emotional appeal to them. So figuring out what it is they're after, what their goals are, and how we can help them achieve those goals would be the best way to address an objection like this. Another one is sometimes if somebody comes to your website and it just looks too new, or maybe you don't have too much content or not that many members yet, it's reasonable why that might hold somebody back from signing up. So what we want to do is make sure that we have a clear mission that people can get behind and make it a special opportunity for early birds and founding members. Maybe that means offering free memberships initially and closing it, once we get, the first 100 members signed up, or the first 50 members get a unique badge to display on their profile, or anything that makes the offering enticing enough so it might counteract whatever hesitation they might have with regards to the website looking a little new or not being as established as maybe some other websites might be. And then lastly, what will happen after I sign up? This is obviously a big concern, especially if you don't have any free offerings. If somebody's going to be paying to sign up, they want to know exactly what's going to happen once they give you their credit card information. A great way to address this one is just eliminate the mystery. You can either explain over the phone or in an email what will happen once somebody signs up. Maybe you want to provide them screenshots with a sample membership dashboard. Explain to them what they can do in their account once they sign up. Or a great alternative, which has been discussed a lot in previous webinars, and I know a lot of membership website owners have done, is to make a simple screen recording, log into a sample member account on your website, and walk them through everything that they can do in their account once they're logged in and signed up.
And I think number 5 here, David, is one that people will not verbally say, but they'll keep it in their heads. So it's important to, make sure that it's clear on your website or whatever media or materials you're using to explain how the website works, to also include specifically what happens after they join. What can they expect? You'll get a welcome email. We'll provide you instructions on how to log into your account, like really basic stuff. But then you'll gain access to, seeing the other members in our community, whatever it might be, or gaining access to X, Y, and Z. You can start posting articles or whatever you're going to allow them to publish. So just explaining the simple things of what happens after sign up. Again, that eliminates mystery. Mystery creates doubt. Doubt creates not signing up. So we want to eliminate doubts and fears and mystery as much as possible.
Yeah, the other thing with that, kind of pulling the curtain back before they sign up, is that, again, that helps build trust and start the relationship off on a good footing.
And like David said, if you address these up front, it can encourage more signups, and it may eliminate the need to actually talk to someone. Most of us aren't necessarily talking to everyone who visits our website, but those are probably the majority of the people that we want to capture and convert to signups. So that is why, and let me see if I can find an example here. Yeah, so basically on your join page, and we do have a pre-made element that you can drag into the text editor, you can add a frequently asked questions section to your membership plan page. And You don't want this to be too long. Anywhere from 4 to 8 questions might be reasonable. But the frequently asked questions should pose the questions in ways that cover some of these topics here. Is it too expensive? So you should say, like, what you get after paying and signing up. What do I get with my plan? What sets your website apart? And then, you should have all these things explained, and why not put them on the actual page where people may have frequently asked questions, so you can address those objections and have rebuttals to them right here on the page. That's all I have to add about this, David. Is there any final notes you wanted to mention?
No, I think it just ties into a lot of the previous tips of the week we discussed, and how to better define your audience, speaking with your current members as well as prospective members to figure out what it is specifically that they're looking for and how we can better address that.